Rinder quotes Yingling's February 1 letter and continues. Now let's consider a few of her statements and some of the glaring omissions. The unaddressed elephant in the room and the big thing missing from the IRS review, no mention of the enormous amount of money spent by Scientology to spy on and try to destroy whistleblowers and critics. Wikipedia says, elephant in the room is an English language metaphorical idiom for the obvious problem or risk that no one wants to discuss, or a condition of groupthink that no one wants to challenge. The elephant in the room is always unaddressed. Once it's actually addressed, it no longer is the elephant in the room. Addressing can be lied about or faked, in which case the elephant remains the elephant in the room. What Rinder is floating is the Dumbo in the room, an overblown fake elephant in the room. I am a real, unmetaphorical whistleblower and critic and victim and wog. The real metaphorical elephant in the room is Rinder and his co-conspirators' conspiracy to spy on and try to destroy me, or silence me, or imprison me, ruin me, or obliterate me. The same elephant, also called Scientology v. Armstrong, the 36-year war, or the Armstrong Op, occupies many rooms. I can't help that. I have never tried to be the elephant in any room. I have sought as sensibly as possible to not be the elephant in anyone's room. I'm trying right now to end my endless elephant in the room beingness. It's threatening and can be torture to be the elephant in anyone's room, let alone the rooms of so many people who hate me so much. No one in those rooms wants to discuss what the Scientologist conspirators, Hubbard, Miscavige, Rathbun, Rinder, Yingling et al., the operators, have done and are doing to me to silence or destroy me. And there's a link provided here to all the operators that so far have been able to identify in the Armstrong operation. Yet that elephant of a criminal campaign against my rights and my person is key to overturning the IRS tax exemption. I am going to be a problem and a risk to the conspirators until I'm dead, a condition that the conspirators doubtlessly desire. Even then, my record will be a problem and a risk and an elephant in their rooms. Funny, in 2012, Rathbun wrote an article to celebrate, he said, quote, the 30th anniversary of his introduction to the strange case of Gerry Armstrong, end quote. And I used the elephant in the room idiom in a reply. Seriously, Marty, is the Scientology v. Armstrong case conceivably strange? Is the elephant in the room ever really strange? Or are there multiple elephants in the room, and my case is the strange one? The enormous amount of money spent by the conspirators to violate public policy by spying on and trying to destroy whistleblowers and critics, etc., would be nice to know, but not at all necessary to know. Probably irrelevant for rescission of the IRS tax exemption, virtually impossible to obtain, and not an elephant in any room. That enormous amount of money can be adequately estimated from identifying and detailing the actions taken against persons. If the conspiracy spent, let's say, $15 million to silence or destroy me, over 36 years, and there are, let's say, 500 whistleblowers or critics, then let's say 7.5 billion. As Rinder observes, this, quote, money is disguised and difficult to trace. It is not the elephant in the room. What Rinder did to me and to other human beings, in violation of public policy, however, is easy to trace. Rinder possesses detailed, high-level knowledge of it. So far, he has lied and refused to tell the truth about what exactly he did and made others do to us. It is obvious to me that whatever he has said or claimed to be doing, since saying he has left his conspiracy, he is keeping the unlawful IRS tax exemption working. He is keeping the unlawful injunction he obtained against me working, and he is keeping his black PR of me and others working. I am glad Rinder is finally talking about public policy. I zeroed in on public policy years ago as the route in which to get the unlawfully obtained and unlawfully used IRS tax exemption pulled. And I provide a link for a search of the Armstrong Op site for public policy, and there are several pages of information. This is from my introduction to the Armstrong Op. The type of allegations that were being made against the Scientologists, for which they sought and obtained the First Amendment immunity that came with IRS tax exemption, were the type of allegations made by the class of people who sued the Scientology entities and whose cases the Scientologists identify in their submissions to the IRS. These types of allegations were what the Fred T. Goldberg IRS team had to have asked about in relation to the issue of the Scientologists' violations of public policy in the service of their Scientology seniors. Obviously, the IRS accepted the negotiated statements that justify its grant of tax exemption. Obviously, too, the IRS would not have granted the tax exemption without the negotiated statements. There are many pages I've now found of black PR on my attorney Michael Flynn and me that the IRS solicited and knew to be false. The IRS did not contact me at any time to verify, refute, clarify, or contextualize the Scientologists' claims about me. Hubbard's death took care of the inurement problem the Scientologists had with the IRS, but a criminal conspiracy does not take care of their public policy problem. It confirms that the tax exemption is unmerited and unlawful. And there's a link here to the Armstrong Op introduction.